Welcome back, my friends. That's right. It is day 3 in the Botanist Lab, and day 3 is all about engineering. Now, some of you may have been with us for the Archaeologist Lab, but hold on. Think about it. What is engineering? What is an engineer? What do you think? I'm going to bring the definition up here soon, so I need you to come up with something. How about this? It's Rosie Revere, right? She's an engineer. You may have read the book Rosie Revere, Engineer by Andrea Beatty. She is one of my favorite engineers because I think she really captures the essence of engineering. Not only is it completing a task by solving a problem, but it's also trying and retrying, kind of the same way that the scientific method can't go wrong when you're trying to answer a question. You get an answer one way or the other. Either your hypothesis is wrong or right, and you get information from that. Same thing with engineering. I mean, you've got to be careful because it can sometimes be dangerous if you're engineering things that could fall apart on a person. However, right, you find a problem, you apply science and math, and then you figure out how to make it happen, right? So you can see here in this definition from the dictionary, engineering is the application of science and mathematics to make things that are useful to people. Pretty simple, but it's about solving problems and solving design problems as well, because you don't get things right the first time. You got to keep trying. So when we talk about engineering in botany, you are going to engineer a most perfect plant seed. It's true. But first, I want to take a moment and introduce you to a scientist. Now, something that's really interesting, I think, about seeds is that they're little bundles of engineering magic made by Mother Nature, right? So each seed has a specific way that it travels, right? Or it gets from one place to another so that it can germinate, root, and grow. So it doesn't matter if it's a dandelion seed that has a parachute on top, or maybe it's a sticky burr that sticks to animal fur or to humans and travels long distances away from the plant. Or maybe it is the perfect size for a bird to swallow with its fruit. And then the bird flies, and then the bird droppings drop the seed all over to spread the species. So there are so many endangered species of plants that botanists are working to save. I thought I would bring a very extreme botanist to you. This is Dr. Steve Perlman. He is called the Rockstar Botanist. And if you are able to watch one of the videos that comes with this kit, there's a video where they do an interview where they interview him on the Plant Extinction Prevention Program in Hawaii. That's where he works. And when that video was made, he was almost 70 years old, and he was still climbing 3,000 feet into the air to pollinate that cabbage on a stick. It is a very rare indigenous plant to the island of Hawaii, and through invasive species, through goats and other things like that, this plant right there, which is about 3 to 6 feet usually, but can grow as tall as 16 feet tall, is nearly gone. So he goes on these extreme hikes to physically pollinate the plants so that they can create seeds, which will then grow into more plants. It is both a labor of love and science as far as I'm concerned. But it's really interesting, I think, to think of how seeds and pollen travel and how one person and a whole team of botanists are working to do it themselves. So here's the next thing. Let's look inside your day 3 bag. What's in there? There should be lots of crazy stuff, actually. Some of the stuff you could find around your house, I'm sure. But it's all for building and engineering, right? So between the note cards or the not safety pins, the paper clips, you should have everything that you really need. But if you want to add scissors or glue, you can do that too. I would say if you want to make one seed and then try different models afterwards, please do so. But your project is to create the perfect shape for traveling. So your straw, it's a paper straw, is kind of like the long part of this dandelion seed, right? The top has kind of a parachute on it, and the bottom has the actual seed. So using your materials, you're going to create your very own dandelion seed, and then either drop or throw that dandelion seed to see how far it goes. If you test it once and think you can make it go farther, then modify your seed, okay? So that means move those paper clips around. Maybe you can cut or tear the little note cards differently. Do you need more on top? Do you need less on top? It's a very good question. So the idea is create a model, sketch it out in your field guide so you know what the first one was, then test, modify, and then go ahead and for round 2, draw what you changed, draw a whole another model for your new one, and then record how far that went. And see what you can do. Play around with it. If you want to try with other materials around your house, please feel free to do so. I think that, you could make about a majillion of these with the stuff around your house. But this is a good start at least. So the video is short for today, but the possibilities are great. So my friends, go forth and engineer.